Hey there folks, gather around, because what I'm about to tell you might just have you diving headfirst into your couch cushions or raiding grandma's old coin jar. You ever heard of a penny that's worth more than a Lamborghini, a beach house in Florida, and a lifetime supply of bacon combined? Well, today, we're talking about a 1977 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that is currently valued at a jaw-dropping $2.9 million. That's right. A little copper coin that most people wouldn't even bother to pick up off the sidewalk could actually make you a millionaire. Now, if that doesn't grab your attention, I don't know what will. Now, before you start flipping every penny in your wallet, sit tight. We're diving deep into why this humble little cent is worth so much, what makes it rare, how you can identify one, and most importantly, what to do if you ever find one. And of course, I'll sprinkle in a little story from my own experience that just might make you laugh, cringe, or maybe both. So grab your magnifying glass, your cup of coffee, and let's talk money, small money that's secretly big money. Let's start with the basics. The 1977 Lincoln penny was part of the regular issue, nothing flashy at first glance. It features good old Abe Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Most of them were minted in Philadelphia, which traditionally doesn't put a mint mark on the coins. So technically, all 1977 pennies from Philly are no mint mark. But here's the kicker. One of these ordinary-looking coins turned out to be not so ordinary. See, this particular 1977 penny, now valued at $2.9 million, is what we call a double die error. That means during the minting process, the coin was struck twice slightly out of alignment, creating a doubling effect on the date or lettering. You might need a magnifying glass to spot it, but the devil, and the dollars, are in the details. But wait, it gets better. This coin isn't just any double die. It's one of the cleanest, sharpest, and most pronounced examples ever found. Combine that with its high grade, pristine condition, and the fact that very few like it exist, and bam, coin collectors lose their minds. Suddenly, what was once a 1-cent coin is now a coin that can buy you a penthouse suite. So how in the world did a coin like this end up being worth $2.9 million? Great question. It all boils down to rarity, condition, and demand. This specific 1977 no-mint Mark penny was graded by a top-tier coin grading company as MS-67, which is mint state, practically untouched. Not only that, but the double die is so well preserved, so visually clear, and so rare that collectors were willing to pay millions to get their hands on it. And let's not forget the collector's market. Rich folks love rare things. Some collect cars. Others collect baseball cards. And then you have the big fish who go after rare coins. The guy who bought this penny? Word is, he didn't even flinch at the price. When you've got money to burn, you don't just buy stuff, you invest in bragging rights. Now let me tell you a little story. Years ago, I was cleaning out a junk drawer. You know the one. Batteries that don't work. Paper clips. Rubber bands that haven't stretched since the 90s. And a cup of random coins. I started tossing them into a jar, and one penny caught my eye. It looked weird, kinda off-centered, a little shinier than the others. For a moment I thought, could this be worth something? But then I shrugged, laughed at myself, and used it to buy gum at a gas station. Fast forward a few weeks, I saw a news article about a rare 1977 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny selling for over $1 million. My stomach dropped faster than my hopes of getting six-pack abs. I still think about that gum. Was it worth $2.9 million? Probably not. But man, I'll never look at loose change the same way again. First, check the year, 1977. No mint mark under the date. Then, grab a magnifier and inspect the date and lettering. A double die will look like a faint shadow or doubling effect, especially on the words, Liberty and, In God We Trust. Some folks even say it looks like the letters are vibrating. Second, condition matters. If your penny's been through a washing machine, chewed by a dog, or living under your car seat since the 90s, it's probably not going to hit that $1 million mark. But even a worn double die can be worth a few $1,000s. Lastly, consider getting it graded. Professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC will slap that baby in a secure case and give it an official score. That score could mean the difference between a few $100s and millions. While we're talking 1977, keep your eyes peeled for other errors too. There are pennies with off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, you name it. Some are worth a few $100s. Some are worth a few thousand. The point is, pennies might be tiny, but they're mighty in the right conditions. Coins aren't just money, they're history. Every scratch tells a story. Every minting error is a little accident that became a treasure. You might have a 1977 Lincoln penny in your collection right now that could change your life. One tiny coin, overlooked by most, now worth $2.9 million. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's part treasure hunt, part history lesson, and part lottery ticket you didn't even know you bought. And here's the deal. If this kind of thing gets you excited, and let's be honest, who doesn't love the idea of turning a penny into a mansion, then you're in the right place. I've got more stories, more coin tips, and more ways to make your spare change work overtime. So do yourself a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Smash it like you just found $1 million coin in your sock drawer. Tap the notification bell too so you never miss a beat, because the next $1 million coin could be sitting in your pocket right now, and you won't know it unless you know what to look for. Thanks for hanging out with me. Keep searching, keep flipping, and keep believing. Because in the world of coins, anything is possible. Hey there fellow treasure hunters, welcome back to the channel where pocket change could make you rich and your old coin jar might just be your retirement plan. Let me ask you something, when was the last time you checked your loose change? You might want to do that after this video, because today we're talking about a regular old penny, 1 cent, just one coppery little guy from 1986 with no mint mark that's turning heads in the coin world because it's worth, wait for it, $1 million. That's right. One penny, $1 million. Now before you dive into the couch cushions, let me break this down for you, because there's a reason this seemingly normal coin is breaking the bank, and if you're thinking it's too good to be true, hold onto your belt buckle, cause this story is going to surprise you. But first let me tell you about a little moment I had at a flea market last summer. I'll tie it in, I promise. So there I was, right in the middle of nowhere town, USA, browsing through this table of dusty mason jars, matchbox cars, and old kitchen utensils you'd never actually use, and boom, a shoebox full of coins. I swear it was like a magnetic force pulled me to it. Now the guy selling them probably thought they were just junk. I paid $20 for the box, not expecting much, maybe a wheat penny or two, some tarnished nickels. Well, I took that box home, cleaned it up, and found a 1986 penny with no mint mark. Didn't think much of it until I started digging. So what makes this 1986 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth $1 million? It's not just luck, although luck does play a role. It's a combo of rarity, condition, and one heck of an error. First off, let's talk about the mint mark. Usually on coins you'll see a small letter underneath the year: P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, S for San Francisco. But this little guy has nothing, not a zip. That means it was minted in Philadelphia, because they didn't use a mint mark for pennies. That year sounds ordinary, right? But here's the twist: the $1 million version of this penny isn't just about the mint mark or lack of one. It's a rare die error coin, a coin that was struck with a misaligned die that caused a super crisp doubling effect on Lincoln's profile and some of the lettering. That's what collectors call a DDO, or double die obverse. And let me tell you, when that doubling is strong and clear on a no mint mark penny from 1986, you've got yourself a unicorn. Add to that a pristine condition, something in MS67 or higher, and boom, you've got a coin that could easily hit the $1 million mark at auction. Now don't go quitting your day job yet. Most 1986 no mint mark pennies are still worth just 1 cent, maybe a couple bucks if they're shiny, but that rare error in mint state, that's the ticket and the kicker. There are probably a few of these floating around in drawers, coffee cans, and old penny rolls. People have no idea what they're sitting on. I mean, I almost tossed mine into a Coinstar machine for A bag of chips, thank goodness for curiosity and bad snack. Choices. So how do you know if you've got one of these $1,000,000 beauties? First, get yourself a magnifying glass, or if your eyes are like mine, a digital microscope. You're looking for doubling on Lincoln's face, his eye, the date and the word liberty. You also want the coin to have that fresh from the mint luster, no scratches, no wear and tear, like it's been sitting in a time capsule. Next, check with a grading service like PCGS or NGC. These folks can officially grade your coin, and if you really do have a high-quality error, they'll slap it in a protective case and boom, now you've got paperwork and value. Oh, and here's a funny side note. I tried to explain this whole thing to my cousin Gary. He collects bottle caps for fun. I tell him I might have a $1,000,000 penny and he goes, cool, you want to trade it for this limited edition root beer cap? I said, Gary, that's why you're single, buddy. Now back to the serious stuff. If you're searching rolls or jars or even your change from the gas station, keep an eye out. The 1986 no mint mark penny is usually copper-coated zinc, but you may also find one that was accidentally struck on a copper planchet. That's another rare error that collectors drool over. At in off-center strikes, double tails, wrong planchets, clipped edges, anything that makes the coin look not quite right, and your penny just might be worth a phone call to an auction house. And speaking of auctions, these coins have gone for crazy money in the past. A verified double die error in top condition has broken six figures, with whispers in the collector world about private sales hitting that sweet $1,000,000 mark. That's not just internet hype, folks, that's real money for real coins. So here's the deal: the next time someone says a penny's worthless, you look dead in the eye and say, not if it's a 1986 no mint mark with a doubling error and MS67 condition. The truth is, coins are everywhere, and the rare ones don't always look like treasure. Sometimes they're sitting in your cup holder under a pile of receipts. Start checking those coins, get a magnifier, get excited, because you never know when the next $1,000,000 penny will fall into your lap. And hey, if you found this video helpful or even mildly entertaining, do me a solid, smash that like button and hit subscribe. I've got loads more tips coming your way, and we're just getting started on this wild ride of coin collecting strategies for folks like us, regular people who like a good story, a little history, and maybe a surprise payday. Alright, let me hit you with a wild one today. Imagine digging through your old coin jar, looking for laundry money, and bam, you stumble upon a penny. Just one little old penny. But wait, it's not just any penny. It turns out to be worth more than your house, your car, and probably your cousin Ricky's entire Pokemon card collection. That's right. We're talking about the 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny that's valued at a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Yeah, I said million, with an M.So if you've got a couch, a car cup holder, or a drawer full of old change somewhere, you might want to stick around. Because by the end of this video, you'll be sprinting like a madman to check your spare coins. Let's start with the basics. In 1982, the United States Mint had a bit of an identity crisis. They were switching the composition of the penny from 95% copper to a much cheaper zinc core with a thin copper coating. The reason? Copper prices were getting higher than my cholesterol during Thanksgiving. Now, here's where it gets spicy. There were 7 different varieties of the 1982 penny. That's right, 7. We had large date copper, small date copper, large date zinc, small date zinc. It's like a Starbucks menu but for coin nerds. But the real treasure, the golden ticket, the unicorn of all pennies, is the 1982 no mint mark small date made of copper. And there's only one confirmed example. Just one. That's rarer than a unicorn doing taxes. Here's the deal. The Philadelphia Mint produced pennies in 1982 without a mint mark. That's normal. But all the small date copper cents were supposed to have been replaced during the switch to zinc. Somehow, one small date copper penny slipped through the cracks, and someone actually found it in their pocket change in 2016. A couple of years ago, I was at my grandpa's house, helping clean out the garage. And if you've ever cleaned a garage that hasn't seen daylight since the Clinton administration, it's an archaeological dig. Underneath a pile of rusted screwdrivers and some sort of fossilized sandwich, I found a big jar of coins. I'm talking pennies from every decade. So I grabbed a magnifying glass like I was Sherlock Holmes and started checking dates. That I didn't find the 1982 no mint mark copper penny that day, but I did find a 1943 steel penny stuck to a magnet, which was cool. And it kicked off this whole obsession with coin collecting. Now, my spare time looks like an episode of CSI, Coin Scene Investigation. First, you want to make sure it's a 1982 penny with no mint mark. That's step 1. Then check the date style. Is it a small date? If you're squinting and thinking, I don't know what that means, don't worry. The small date 1982 has a level 2 in the date, meaning it lines up evenly with the 1 and the 9. The large date 2 kind of dips lower. The weight is another clue. A copper penny weighs about 3.11 grams. Zinc ones? About 2.5 grams. So if you've got a 1982 no mint mark penny that's a small date and it weighs 3.11 grams, buddy, you better put that thing in a velvet-lined box and call a professional coin dealer. This particular 1982 penny was authenticated by experts and sold for a whopping $1.1 million. 1 penny. 1 million. Imagine paying off your mortgage, your student loans, and still having enough left over to buy a taco truck and follow your dreams. And hey, if you think this is just one of those weird coin stories from the Twilight Zone, think again. People are finding valuable coins in everyday change all the time. It's just a matter of knowing what to look for. So the next time you hear someone say, "It's just a penny," just smile and think, maybe, just maybe, that penny is hiding 6 zeros behind it. Now here's what I want you to do. Go grab that change jar. Check your wallet. Raid the cup holder in your car and ask Grandma if she's got any old coins tucked away in her purse next to the butterscotch candy. And if you're serious about finding valuable coins and learning strategies to boost your collection, hit that subscribe button right now. I've got more coin secrets, tips, and money-making stories coming your way than a leprechaun at a yard sale. Don't sleep on your spare change, my friends. Because somewhere out there, another $1 million penny is just waiting to be found. Alright folks, picture this: you're rummaging through your junk drawer looking for a paperclip or maybe that rogue AA battery that disappeared 3 weeks ago, and instead your fingers land on a dusty old penny. You barely notice it and almost toss it back in with the paper clips when boom, it hits you. What if this crusty little cent is actually worth over $1 million? Yeah, you heard that right, $1.2 million. That's enough to buy a house, a boat, a new truck, and still have enough left over to fill your bathtub with gummy bears if you're into that kind of thing. Today we're talking about the legendary, the elusive, the deceptively ordinary looking 1995 D. Abraham Lincoln penny. This little guy is hiding in plain sight and could be the jackpot you didn't even know you had. So grab your jar of pennies, sit back, maybe pour yourself a cold drink and get comfy, because by the end of this video you might just be rich, and if not, at least you'll be the smartest one at the next family barbecue when someone says coins are boring. Spoiler alert, they are not. The 1995 D. Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark. Now we've all seen billions of these little guys floating around in change jars, couch cushions, and under car seats, but there's one very specific variety that's blowing minds and bank accounts. Now you might be asking, what makes this one penny worth over $1 million? Is it dipped in gold? Does it sing when you flip it? No, but that would be amazing. It all comes down to rarity, condition, and a little sprinkle of minting magic. Here's the deal: in most cases the 1995 D penny is just another penny worth, you guessed it, 1 cent, but there is an extremely rare variety struck with a dramatic die error combined with nearly flawless condition. These coins are what collectors call MS68 red or higher, and that, my friends, is where things get spicy. Now let me hit you with some coin lingo. MS stands for mint state. It's a grading scale from 1 to 70, and anything above MS65 is considered minty fresh, like it just rolled off the press and skipped the gum under your school desk. A 1995 D penny graded MS68 red basically means it's in drop-dead gorgeous condition with no ugly spots, no scratches, and the red means it kept that fresh coppery shine like it just got its glow up from a spa day. Only a handful of these pennies have survived in this top-tier condition, and that's what makes them so insanely valuable. They are unicorns among coins. One of these beauties was sold for $1.2 $1 million at auction. I know it's hard to believe that a coin you might accidentally vacuum up is worth more than a Lamborghini, but hey, that's the wild world of numismatics. I remember this one day back in 2018. I was cleaning out my old coin jar from high school, you know, the kind you swear you'll roll and take to the bank someday, but instead it just becomes a metal graveyard. Well, I found a 1995 penny in there, and for a second my heart did a little cha-cha. I rushed to the kitchen, flipped on my desk lamp, and grabbed the magnifying glass like I was Sherlock Holmes on the case. Was it the $1 million version? No, turns out it had a scratch that looked suspiciously like someone tried to open a soda with it. Still, it was the beginning of my obsession with coin hunting, and let me tell you, since then I've found coins worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. So here's what you want to check when you inspect your 1995 penny. First, look at the mint mark D. Of course, we're not talking about Philly or San Francisco for this one. Second, check for the die condition. You want crisp, clear details, nowhere sharp lines, and that juicy red color. Third, get it graded by a professional. If you think you've got a winner, don't just eyeball it and hope for the best. That'd be like guessing your steak is medium rare without cutting into it. And finally, check with recent auctions and collector sites to compare. It helps to know what kind of coin game you're sitting on. Now, if you're really serious about hunting for one of these bad boys, you can check out estate sales, flea markets, garage sales, and even rolls of pennies from the bank. Yeah, that's right, you can literally go into your bank, ask for $20 in pennies, and potentially walk out with a coin that changes your life. Just make sure your back can handle lifting those heavy coin rolls. Another tip, always check the obverse side closely. That's the one with Lincoln's profile. Look at the letters, especially Liberty and In God We Trust. Any doubling, smearing, or weird spacing could be a sign of an error, and collectors go bananas for errors. Oh, and let's not forget storage. If you think you've got something valuable, don't just throw it back in the junk drawer. Put it in a coin flip or a protective holder. Keep it away from moisture, heat, and that cousin who always borrows things and never returns them. Now, some of you might be thinking, come on, who's actually paying this kind of money for a penny? Well, the answer is serious collectors, investors, and even museums. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby anymore, it's an industry, and rare coins like the 1995 penny are like the Honus Wagner baseball card of the coin world. They're legendary and only going up in value. Plus, think about this, if inflation keeps going the way it is, $1 million penny might actually make perfect sense someday. The 1995 Lincoln penny could be worth up to $1.2 million if it's in mint state condition with sharp details and a bright red tone. It's rare but not impossible to find, and yes, you could be sitting on one right now in your couch cushions. Look, I know coin collecting might not seem as flashy as crypto or sports cards, but there's something deeply satisfying about hunting for treasure in the most unexpected places. You don't need to be a millionaire to find $1 million coin, you just need curiosity, a magnifying glass, and a little bit of luck. So the next time someone laughs at your coin jar obsession, you just smile and remember this video, because while they're busy scrolling TikTok, you could be finding the next big payday in a roll of pennies. And hey, if you learned something today or had a good laugh, or maybe just checked your own pockets during this video, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button for more tips on coins worth money, coin hunting strategies, and maybe a few more stories of me embarrassing myself with a magnifying glass. Turn on those notifications so you don't miss a single chance to strike it rich, and share this video with that one friend who always swears they have rare coins but never actually looks. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and remember, keep your eyes sharp, your coins safe, and your hopes high. Hey there folks. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at your spare change? You know, that pile of pennies hiding in your cup holder, junk drawer, or under your couch cushions? Well, buckle up, because you might just be sitting on a gold mine disguised as a humble little copper penny. Today we're talking about the 1973 Lincoln penny. Sounds ordinary, right? Wrong. One of these little guys recently hit the coin collecting world like a thunderbolt. And get this, it's now worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. That's not a typo. $1.3 million. So before you go cashing in your piggy bank for coffee money, you might want to stick around. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, what makes this penny so special, and how you can become the Indiana Jones of loose change. And hey, I've got a personal story that just might make you dump your entire penny jar on the kitchen table tonight. Trust me, this one's worth watching to the end. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1973 D penny was minted in Denver, as you can tell by the little D right beneath Abraham Lincoln's chest on the obverse. The coin's made mostly of copper with a touch of zinc, weighing in at about 3.11 grams. Now, here's the thing. The US Mint struck over 3.5 billion of these. That's billion, with a B. So why would one be worth more than a private island and a lifetime supply of beef jerky? The key to this specific 1973 D penny's insane value is a combination of three things. First up, mint errors. Not your everyday, oops I sneezed while striking kind of error. We're talking double dies, off-center strikes, or even transitional metal errors where the wrong planchet was used. One known example was struck on a leftover silver planchet. Imagine a penny that thinks it's a dime. That kind of mix-up gets collectors drooling. Second, mint state condition. That $1 million penny was graded as MS-67 red. That's basically coin speak for, this thing is flawless. No scratches, no fingerprints, no gum from 1986 stuck to it. If your penny has that rich, red coppery sheen and looks like it just rolled off the press yesterday, you might be in business. And third, provenance and rarity. This particular coin has a history of being in some high-profile collections and auctions. It's like the James Bond of pennies, everybody wants to own it. Now let's talk money. The coin collecting world goes absolutely bonkers for ultra-rare Lincoln cents in pristine condition. In recent years, that 1973 D penny fetched a whopping $1.3 million at a private auction. Let that sink in for a second. Someone spent more on a penny than most people spend on a house. And the demand for coins like this has only gone up. There's a growing number of collectors, especially online. Between auction houses like Heritage Auctions and private dealers, a hot penny in top condition can spark a bidding war like you've never seen. Now let me tell you about my own penny misadventure. So, a few years ago, I was at a yard sale, nothing fancy, just your usual Grandma Lampenbier sign kind of setup. And this guy had a huge jar of pennies for $1. $1 for a whole jar. I bought it, brought it home, and started sifting through it for fun. Guess what I found? A 1973 D penny in absolutely mint condition. Looked brand new. I got excited. I mean, it didn't look like much, but it had that shiny red luster, no dings, no scratches, but, and here comes the heartbreak, I tossed it into a coin machine at the grocery store for store credit. That's right. I traded a potential jackpot for $2.67 in grocery coupons, and now, years later, I find out that a 1973 D penny in mint condition just sold for $1.3 million. If you heard a loud scream in the distance last week, that was probably me. Alright, let's make sure you don't make the same mistake I did. Here's what to look for in your 1973 D pennies: errors, double dies, off-center strikes, or strange metal composition. If you spot one that looks out of the ordinary, take it to a coin dealer. Or better yet, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Getting that little slab with a high grade might just change your life. And hey, while you're at it, check the weight of your coin. It should be around 3.11 grams. If it's way off, say 2.5 grams or over 3.5, you might have a planchet error, and that's big bucks territory. Always check your change, especially pennies from the 60s and 70s, by a simple magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Your eyes will thank you. Invest in coin folders or albums to keep your finds safe. Learn how to spot counterfeits, because yes, even pennies get fake. Join online forums or local coin clubs. You'll learn more from fellow collectors than any book while you're on the hunt for the 1973 D jackpot. Keep an eye out for other valuable pennies too, and anything pre-1982, which are solid copper and worth more than face value. Some of these might not hit the $1 million mark, but they can definitely bring in hundreds or even thousands of dollars if you find the right one. So let's recap. The 1973 D Lincoln penny, yeah, that everyday coin you've probably ignored your entire life, could be worth up to $1.3 million if it has the right error, the right condition, and the right story. Never underestimate a penny. It might be small, but it could have a big old paycheck attached to it. And if you're like me and you once traded away a mint condition penny for gas station snacks, well, we can cry together. Now here's what I want you to do next. Go grab your coin jars, your junk drawers, your glove box, heck, check under your couch cushions, and start hunting. If you find a 1973 D that fits the bill, let me know. I'd love to feature it on the channel, and don't forget, subscribe to this channel if you want more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that could make you rich. I've got plenty more where this came from. Turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. Hit that like button like it owes you money, and leave a comment below telling me what cool coins you found.